Paltrocast.
Am I getting you from Los Angeles, or where are you dialing in from today?
You are getting me from the island of Crete in Greece,
Whoa.
which is where I'm actually from. And I actually am on a photo shoot today, and it's windy out there, and I had to scout a location to do this that cut that wasn't too windy. And this giant boulder was perfect, so I figured it's a good background too.
Yeah, absolutely. The reason I thought it was Los Angeles was because you were recently in West Hollywood playing the
I was.
Roxy.
That's
There was the
right.
Feels Like Greek Summer Tour, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
How many flights do you have to take to get from Crete to LA?
It's three. It's three. LA is very far away. I was just in LA, but now I'm here. I did the Feels Like Greek Summer Tour, and now I'm on the actual Greek Summer Tour. Um, and yeah, unfortunately, there's no direct flight from LA to Athens, and I'm sad about that. I need to start a petition for it because
Yeah.
why not? But yeah, you basically have to fly from like LA to another big airport to then Athens, and then from Athens you take another plane to Crete.
But for your Jersey routes, it's two flights.
Yeah.
It's to
Yeah,
Athens, Newark.
for my Jersey routes it's not so bad. It's just two flights. There's always a direct flight to Athens. And then you do have to fly to Crete too. But that flight's only like 30 minutes.
Ah, okay. Now
So it's not so
I'm
bad.
learning my wife is from Jersey, the part which has the great
Okay.
figures of Jersey.
Nice.
So
Nice.
therefore, you have to know your Jersey geography and all that. But hey,
Yes.
let's not talk about Jersey and Crete and travel. Let's talk about Alpha Beta. When did you actually record the Alpha Beta EP?
So Alpha Beta EP is it's compilation EP essentially, where I wanted to put together all of my favorite songs that I had done that existed in two versions. So something that I've loved to do and I feel super deep in my core is the combining of the Greek and the English.
Sure.
And these songs, Fotia, Onira, and Pali, they came out with their English version counterpart and then Greek versions as well. And so I always had this idea of like releasing a double-sided, like if it were to be a vinyl, it would be side alpha and then side beta or vita.
Sure.
Alpha being the English versions and vita being the Greek versions. And it just felt right to put it together into a project that it deserved to be.
So when you're playing at the Roxy or Cafe du Nord, these real venues,
Yeah.
are you
Yeah.
singing in Greek and English? How do you decide
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
what's
I do. I do both. I do both. The set is it definitely has an international vibe because there's a lot of English, but I'm also singing in Greek. There's some of these even have some Spanish versions and twists into them. But yeah, it does take some deciding on the location depending on the show that I'm in. Like right now when I'm in Greece doing my Greek summer tour, I'll start with the Greek version of a song, but then I will still sing like the English verse or something. Like I still keep it real and true to who I am, which is very much um both things, but the location of the show does kind of determine which language is going to be mm, in at the forefront or at least first introduced at the show. But you're still going to get a mix of everything.
wow, so your brain works very differently than most people if you're able to just switch back and forth very easily.
Yeah, my brain works differently. It was funny because when I was doing my the VIP experience at my Feels Like Greek Summer Tour, the US tour, they all got a private acoustic song performance as well. And what I would do is I would sing them my song Fotia, which has English, Greek, and Spanish version of that one song. And I would tell them, be like, guys, every group and every city is getting a different version of this because it's just gonna be whatever language is gonna come to me. And I would just kind of sing like, I don't know, the first line I'd decide Greek and then go into Spanish and then go into English. But luckily I've sang this song so many times that it confused me. But there was one time where I like got stuck, so I was like, oh, which language am I gonna do? Oh no. But it was funny. And it's kind of a really cool experience for a nice small group of people. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what language, or which language rather, was Fotia written in for it to be
Yeah.
available in three languages?
Yeah. So Fotia was originally written in English. And then, but it did have that one line in Greek, which is Fotia me stamatiasu. It's all in the way that we move. Ah, you feel it too. Fotia stamatiasu. And Fotia me stamatiasu means fire in your eyes. And so that's what I would say in Greek. And then the rest of it is in English. And then this artist, named Eleni Foureira,
Hmm.
some people call her the queen of Europe. She was part of Eurovision, and she's, I would say, probably the top pop artist in Greece as well. And she sings in Greek and Spanish. And she heard the song, and she basically reached out and was like, I want to do a Greek and Spanish version with you, and let's do it as a duet. And I was, of course, blown away because I love her. And so then we recorded Greek version and Spanish version together, and that's how it kind of came to be.
Wow. Being a New Yorker, I speak
Yeah,
Spanish because people around you speak Spanish. You have to take it in
yeah,
school, that kind of a thing. But do a lot of
yeah.
people speak Spanish in Greece?
A lot of people, they don't speak Spanish, but they love Spanish music and the Spanish language. And with Spain being so close, there's a lot of similarities and a lot of exchange. And so Eleni, when she actually went to Eurovision, her song was called Fuego, and
Hmm.
she was singing in English and Spanish. And then she kind of started this. Her song, I think, went number 1 in Spain, and so then she started releasing songs in Spanish as well. Her partner is from Spain, and I don't know, we're just like we're really Mediterranean brothers, brothers and sisters with Spain. So also our accent, the Spanish and Greek accents are actually very, very similar, believe it or
Interesting.
not.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
they are. Yeah.
going back to the tour thing, before the tour launch, you played the Bowery Ballroom in New York City, which is a very impressive venue. Did that feel like a homecoming show for you based on the New
Yes.
Jersey roots?
Yes. It was absolutely a homecoming show. It's been a dream of mine to play Bowery Ballroom for so long. Growing up in Jersey, and I lived in Jersey City and then in Brooklyn for a minute as well. I would go to Bowery Ballroom all the time to see artists. And I would always be there like, ah, one day I'm gonna play here too. And so that moment when I really got on that stage and looked out at that crowd, I really did like take it in. It was very magical and very, very special. And definitely like a bucket list one for me.
You just mentioned living in Jersey, but where did you grow up in New Jersey? Or is that classified information?
It's not classified. I grew up in Bridgewater, New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, Bridgewater, and then yeah, my summers on the island of Crete. That's basically it.
Wow. Is there a music industry in Crete, or to make it, do you have to go to Athens?
Yeah, Athens is definitely where Athens is like the LA. It's where all of the if you want to be in the entertainment industry, you have to be in Athens. So yeah, it's been interesting because I grew up in Crete and my whole family's in Crete. But even as my career has been growing and flourishing internationally between US and Greece, and Europe, Athens is where I've been going. And so I've kind of rediscovered not even rediscovered, just been discovering and learning about Greece in different ways too. Um, and it's an amazing city. They say New York is a city that never sleeps, but it's actually Athens, Greece. They do not sleep. There's
Yeah,
always a party going on.
New York was a city that never slept decades ago. Right now, New York is
Yeah,
very, people want to stay inside. But
people, yeah, it's kind of sad.
so Alpha Beta is new to us, the fans, but as you said, it's a compilation of things for you. So it's work done over a period of time. Do we know what your
Yeah.
next single or EP or release is in the near future?
The near future, we're working on a bunch of things. But the latest single that I released is called Mykonos, and that's kind of what we're riding on this summer. It's like such a fun, fresh summer track. And I actually kind of wrote it about what we were just talking about, where I said it's a city that never sleeps. Athens doesn't sleep, but the island that never sleeps is definitely Mykonos. The party just goes on all night long, and the lyric that I say is like "Keep me up all night like Mykonos." uh, and it's been really really fun to see people react to it and listen to it, especially on the island.
And do you know what the touring future looks like for you?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm finishing. Well, I guess I'm a quarter of the way through my Greek summer tour. Um, like I said, my one in the US is like feels like Greek summer because we're gonna make it feel like Greek summer, but now I'm actually in Greece, so it's a Greek summer tour. And I'm touring with this awesome artist here. Her name is Anastasia,
Hmm.
and we're hitting like all these places in Greece that I've never even been to, some I'd never even heard of. So I'm getting to discover my country in a whole new way. Um, so that's basically where I'm going to be at all summer. And then in the fall, we're working on some new dates and some new areas. I want to say them, but I can't promise they're going to come through. Like we didn't get to stop in Florida on my US tour. And so I really would love to do some Florida dates and hit some of those cities in the fall that I didn't get to go to right now in the spring. But I
Tarpon
can't
Spring.
promise, but we're working on it. Yeah, Tarpon Springs, Tampa, Miami. Yeah, the good stuff.
The secret of Tarpon Springs is
Yeah,
endlessly fascinating to me. Um,
yeah.
now,
Have you been?
I haven't been. I've just heard that it's incredible that you could just speak Greek and not English and survive in Tarpon Springs.
Yeah, I've only been there one time, and I've got that vibe. I got that vibe for sure.
Well,
So
I've
I have
got
to go.
two more questions for you. They're softballs, and then
Okay.
I'll let you go. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
So, all we know about you because of mystique and coolness and all that is you're this multilingual artist on Epic that's doing really well all over the world. What's your main passion besides your
Mm.
career when you don't have to deal with
Ooh.
studios, touring, and press schedules?
Well, I I love soccer. Soccer was actually my first love, and I grew up playing on like travel teams and everything. But then when
Wow.
I was 16, I tore my ACL, and then that's when I like this. I always loved music, but that's when I kind of honed in on it because I couldn't, I had nothing else to do. I was just like on my couch, and I pulled up YouTube and I started learning guitar, just off of some YouTube tutorials, and started writing songs from there, and really got deeper into my passion and love of music. And now I still play soccer. Like I still, even for my song Mykonos, part of like the trend I made for it is like juggling a soccer ball with it, and juggling in heels, which is always fun. Uh, but yeah, for me, like sports and soccer is the passion is one of the passions. And then after that, it's cooking. I love to cook. Greek food in particular. Yeah.
So what I just learned is you're a positive YouTube success story because a lot of people
I
waste their life away on YouTube just going, what do they call that? Deep scrolling or doom scrolling.
yeah, yeah,
And in
yeah.
your case, it taught you how to play guitar, which ultimately led to you having an epic deal.
Yeah, ultimately, like little 16-year-old Evangelia couldn't even imagine. She could dream, but she couldn't even imagine. So it's really cool if I think back that way, and if I could talk to her, I'd be like, "Hey, girl, keep doing that."
And then related to that, my last question is what was the gateway artist that you heard that took it from
Mm,
just music being on in the background and I like music to actually focusing on music and going, I can do this? Was there a particular band or artist?
there was, particularly during this time in high school. I loved Ingrid Michaelson.
Oh,
Um, do you know who she is?
yeah, Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's
yeah,
great.
she's great. And what I loved about her and the songs at the time, they were very um stripped down and acoustic and like just on a ukulele or just on a guitar, and just seemed, and they were so beautiful, and I just loved them so much. I also spent a lot of hours on YouTube listening and watching Amber Michelson.
Hmm.
And the fact that one of her songs was just her voice and a ukulele, it felt accessible to me because I was like, I have a ukulele and I have a voice. I can I can attempt to do this myself and to like write a song like this. And so yeah, at its core, my roots are very singer-songwriter. And Ingrid Michaelson was a huge, huge inspiration for me early on.
That's a fantastic answer. I would not have expected that, but
Yeah,
thank you for your time. Looking forward
yeah.
to your next New York show, even if it's not the
Thank
Bowery
you.
Ballroom. Looking forward to it. Hope you get to enjoy something of a summer, but if not,
Yes.
keep up the great work. Really a pleasure.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Paltrocast.